Just going. Here we go. Just starting up. Keep playing.
It was
Oh, we're
just
not on
like
yet.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This chair's too small. This chair's too big. This chair's just fine.
Just like that. Hey, okay, let me see now. Hey, okay. Oh, somebody turned your speaker down. Looks like we're up. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta find out who that piano player is.
Uh-oh.
Fingers galore.
Fingers galore. He's so darn good, dude.
Just a second. Just a second.
Hi, my name's Fingers. Fingers G. Lore.
Okay. I think we're ready.
Are we?
I think so. Okay. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our Sunday night offering of Astronomy Outreach, the Sunday Night Astronomy Show. Yay! Same thing every week. Here we go. My name is Chris Kerwin of Astronomy by the Bay.
And?
88 Finger Louie. And
87.
You're not, right.
And you're not.
First of all, I'd like to welcome back our two regular co-hosts, RASC member Paul Owen from the Moonshot Observatory here in Hampton. Paul.
Hello.
And RASC member Mike Powell from the PFO Observatory here in St. John. Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Evening.
Yeah.
Evening, everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube land. Welcome. Okay, well, tonight we're going to give a little bit of a show of our, well, what we've done now is kind of worked on our show. We brought it out a new format of types. Maybe. Okay. Well, most of the, let me explain that a little better. Can I start over?
Same old stuff, different way.
Turn around and start again.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, here we go.
That's right. Yeah.
So most of the feedback we've received has suggested keeping the show in smaller, little bite-sized segments and easier to understand, maybe. So we're adding two more segments to the lineup tonight. We'll introduce Paul's astrophotography tip of the week, which is going to be one of our regular segments now, and another segment called Astronomy in 5 Minutes, which is a discussion around understanding the night sky. Now, these two new segments, along with our current Bino Bud and Rosanna's Fun Facts and What's in the Sky this week, and a regular return of the Gearbox Talk, and your photo submissions, we end up with a 1 hour-ish astronomy variety show. This lineup may change with a topic of special interest or a special guest. So if we get somebody that's coming on the program for a special talk, or we have a special interest talk like the coming comet, Christmas comet, then we might bump a couple of the talks away to focus on a larger topic. But that's going to be our format from now on. So they're going to be in random order, basically. Each week we'll mix them up a little bit. So you can't just tune in from 8 to 8:10 to 8:15 if you want Bino Bud. You might have to find them anywhere. Spin that wheel. Okay, anyway. So we hope you're going to find our new setup a little bit more interesting. This gives us a better idea, because usually at the end of the program we're always trying to figure out, well, what's going to be on next week? Well, now we already know what's going to be on next week. Each one of us have two segments to do, so we'll make our choices from that. So all I got to do is bug these guys on Saturday and say, well, what's the talk going to be, guy? Okay, so tonight, again, Mike's going to bring back his Bino Bud target with a Bino Bud talk with another binocular target. This week is going to be the Andromeda Galaxy. Yay!
Yes.
Awesome.
Easy one.
Easy one. And Mike will reintroduce our first Gearbox talk. Tonight he's going to be discussing our laser purchase that he made. Hey,
My new toy.
I'm going to leave it at that. With our future Gearbox talks, we will be providing our thoughts on some of the more popular purchases that you may be considering. So equipment reviews, basically zoom eyepieces, eyepieces in general, maybe special finders. What's the best finder out there? What's the best small scope out there? That kind of stuff. Paul's first astrophotography tip of the week segment, he'll be talking about narrowband, what it is, and some examples in imaging. Just very thin band.
Squishy head.
Cresced. And of course, Paul will be back with another interesting Rosanna's Fun Fact segment tonight.
And it is interesting.
It is.
And Mike, be
It's
ready
always
for that.
interesting. Okay, sounds good. I'll be introducing the first Astronomy in 5 Minutes discussion, which is going to be a two-part segment tonight with part one, and we'll take a look at what's happening in the night sky this week. Of course, we'll have all of your wonderful photos, missions to share as well, so another very busy program on the way. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage and snack and girl, guy, whatever, and enjoy. Remember, this is a family-friendly live broadcast, so if you have any questions about the night sky or astronomy equipment in general, we're happy to try to answer them here for you. So let's get started with tonight's program. Good evening, everybody on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks much for joining us, and let's get started with tonight's program. We're going to go with my talk, I guess, first, huh? I guess I did say that, didn't I?
I want to go first, but you insisted.
Please. What, I'm up first? No? Okay. Yeah. That's not what it was like off air. Okay, here we go. Let's go with this screen here. And I'm going to put this to full screen. And our introduction to our PowerPoint, once I get it opened. Let's see if this works. Slideshow from beginning. Hey, there we are.
Hey.
Hey.
All good? Oh,
Yep.
wait now, waiting for it on YouTube. Don't see it on YouTube yet. Should pop up there in a second. There it is. Hey, okay. We're good.
There you go.
Okay, so astronomy in 5 minutes. That's what the topic's going to be from now on. My little 5-minute segment. So I got to try to time this for 5 minutes. It's 8:09 in front of me. I got a clock, so let's go. Here we go.
Next slide.
Well, that was a great conversation. Thanks
There,
so much.
thanks. So what we're going to look at is our moon in motion. This is part one of two talks. So each month our moon goes through several motions. It actually rotates once on its own axis. It experiences something called libration, and its elliptical orbit places it closer then farther away from us. Well, tonight in part one of two parts, we'll discuss the moon's rotation, orbit, and something called libration. Now the moon orbits the Earth once every 27.322 days. It also takes about 27 days for the moon to rotate once on its own axis. As a result, the moon does not seem to be spinning, but appears to observers from the Earth to be keeping almost perfectly still. And this is what scientists call synchronous rotation. Scientists or astronomers. Now, the side of the moon that is perpetually faces Earth is known as the near side. The opposite of the back side is the far side. And sometimes the far side is called the dark side of the moon. That was a Pink Floyd album. That's not really true. When the moon is between the Earth and the sun during the moon phase called the new moon, the back side or the far side of the moon is actually bathed in daylight. So the moon gets the same amount of sunlight. Now the orbit of the moon is elliptical instead of circular. So sometimes it's closer to the Earth and sometimes it's farther away. Now when the moon is closest to the Earth, we say that it's at perigee. And when it's farthest away, we say that it's at apogee. Now the moon's phase and date of its approach to its perigee or apogee are not synced. When a full moon or a new moon occurs close to the moon's perigee, it is known as a supermoon. On the other hand, when a full moon or new moon occurs close to the moon's apogee, we call it a micromoon. And it's about 14% difference. Now, as a result of its elliptical orbit, the distance between the moon and Earth varies throughout the month and the year. On average, the distance is about 382,900 kilometers, or 238,000 miles, from the moon's center to the center of the Earth. Now, not only does the moon's orbit the Earth in an elliptical path, but it also is usually 5 degrees above or below the plane of the planets, what we call the ecliptic, that plane that they all sit on. Now, when the moon crosses the ecliptic, it does so at two spots called the lunar nodes. Now, the lunar node is either of the two orbital nodes of the moon, that is, the 2 points at which the orbit of the moon intersects the ecliptic, that plane of the planets. Now, the ascending or north node is when the moon moves into the northern ecliptic hemisphere, while the descending node is when the moon moves into the southern ecliptic hemisphere. Now, a lunar eclipse can only occur when the full moon is near either lunar node, while a solar eclipse can occur only when the new moon is near either lunar node. That's hard to say. So the nodes are here, here, and here. So they all have to be lined up, in other words. Now, something called libration of the moon. The moon always keeps the same face to us, but not exactly the same face. Now, because of the tilt and the shape of its orbit, we see the moon from slightly different angles over the course of a month. When we compress the month, as it is in this animation, our changing view of the moon makes it look like it's wobbling. Who's rocking? This wobble is called libration. The libration of the moon, the maximum librations are seen about 1 week after perigee and 1 week after apogee, revealing, depending on the month, up to 8 degrees of longitude on the moon's backside along the eastern and western limbs, respectively. Now, libration and latitude is the moon's north-south nodding back and forth. It results primarily from the approximately 5-degree tilt of the moon's orbital plane with respect to the ecliptic Earth's orbital plane. So we can see about 60% roughly of the moon's surface, 60 to 65%, as the moon does this kind of wobbling effect. It's an effect, it's not really wobbling. So that's our talk this week. It was the moon's motion as far as its orbit, its rotation goes, its orbit, and its libration. Next week, we're going to take a look at the moon's effect on the tides, the phases of the moon, and the increasing distance to the moon. And that's 5 minutes.
Yeah, I love that. The flat Earth eclipse.
Excellent.
There you go.
Oh, that's so fun.
And that's our first look at astronomy in 5 minutes.
Awesome. It was great.
Yeah,
Perfect.
in only 5 minutes, not 8:14. There we go.
There you go.
So when the moon is in the seventh sun, and
Jupiter aligns with Mars. 7th house,
Yeah, and so this is the dawn of the age of
Aquarius.
Aquarius. All right.
Tis.
Or the fifth, or the dawn of the fifth dimension. One of the two.
Really is.
Okay, let's move on to from that category to let's go to what are we going to go to? Oh, Mr. Paul.
Gearbox?
Gearbox next, right? Mike is going to bring us to the
screen to
gearbox.
share. Should be coming up there.
It is.
It's there.
Welcome to our gearbox segment. And tonight I'm going to talk about my observatory laser. So we all like to use lasers when we're doing public outreach, and I wanted to get one for my observatory. So what was I looking for? Well, a 3 to 10 milliwatt green laser. I wanted it controlled remotely with my existing setup. I needed to be mountable. I was looking for something that was either 5, 8, or 12 volts for power, because that's what my system out in the observatory uses. And I'd like to be able to have a laser mounted on my observatory telescope to operate it remotely from my warm room up here in the garage, so I don't have to be down there pushing a button on and pushing a button to turn it off. So hunting around, because I thought that was kind of going to be a hard find or an expensive one, this is what I found. So on Amazon, it cost me all of $35.58. I found this D18 by 65 millimeter focusable 520 nanometer direct green dot laser module for positioning. And it comes with the laser module, the adapter, and a holder. So the parts that come with this is the 10 milliwatt laser itself. It's mountable right here on the top. And you see it's got a 1/4 by 20 thread. So I can mount that just about on anything I want to, because most telescope stuff goes on with 1/4 by 20. If you see it's got screws on the top and on the side, I can adjust it just like adjusting a red dot finder to have it point exactly at what I want it to point at. It actually runs on 5 to 8 volts worth of power, which was perfect for me. It will plug directly into my Pegasus power box, which is what I wanted. And now it is software controlled through the DSLR output of my Pegasus power box, which is really cool. And there's no buttons or anything on this. It's just strictly plug-in. And you can see if you plug it into a battery source or a power source, it turns on. You unplug it, it turns off. And so there was no need for a switch or a button on it. And anybody that has done cable management on their scope has probably seen these power boxes before. I have them and I love them. And it basically gives me 2 wires coming down from my scope, one for the USB and one for power, and everything else runs off the power box. As well as running off, my dew heaters and stuff, they have what's called an adjustable output. This one has it here, this one has it here, and this one has it here. These are just 3 different models of the same thing, basically. But it allows me to control that power output via software. I can turn it on and turn it off, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Here's how I operate it remotely. This is the software portion for the Pegasus PowerBox Advanced, which I have. It has a quad output of 12 volts, so I can run dew heaters. I can run my camera and stuff like that. It's all plugged into that with 12 volt. But down here, there's a DSLR output that I can actually adjust the voltage anywhere from 5 volts to 12 volts. And I can turn it on and I can turn it off. And I can turn it on and I can turn it off. And that's fantastic. So I can actually operate and turn on the laser from up here and shut it off from up here, which is pretty cool. So what did I want it for? Well, I wanted to show people if they, I had some guests over and we were set up in the backyard and looking, I can show them what I'm pointing at. And then they can, just like at a star party, wheel their scope around if they like and look up at it, or just take a shot to blow up the moon if I get an opportunity. Then I just want to say, if you do get lasers, use them responsibly and use them safely, because they can wreak havoc on aircraft and stuff. Those of us that are into this know all the rules, and we have a spotter and stuff. So just make sure that you use them responsibly and safely. And that is my gearbox talk for the week. And stop sharing. That's my green laser.
Awesome.
So
I love the fact that I can run it from here and just turn it on and off.
So is that all you can do with it? Is just turn it on and off, or can you actually point it?
Well, no, it's on the scope. It's going to mount with the
So
scope,
on-
and wherever the scope points, it points. I adjust this to just like a red dot finder, so it's pointed at the object that my scope is pointed at.
Yeah.
And then away you go from there. Like I said, it just it mounts right on the scope. I'm just going to use the 1/4x20 and up. I'm not going to use this bottom portion, which you could actually bolt to a car if you wanted to, I suppose. But it's just a little tiny. It won't add any weight. It basically fits in like a small Vixen slot will be the mount that I have, a mini Vixen. And I will mount it in there. And then wherever I point the scope, this is going to point to the same target. And it just allows me to have a green laser at software controlled. Someone like Tim Doucette and what he does down in Nova Scotia might benefit from something like this, where he has people outside of his observatory and he's running it inside. He can actually click, the laser's on, show them what he's looking at, and click, shut it off.
Yeah.
So that was the goal behind it. And that's what I found. And it's $35. Can't beat it.
That's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Yeah, good stuff. $35. What you can buy for $35 today?
Yeah,
Unreal.
really.
Well, I met all the criteria. That's what counted.
That's it. That's
It
what always
checked all
counts.
the boxes.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a lot more, so I was really surprised. That was it,
That's-
$35. So.
Yeah.
That's really reasonable.
It is, and boy, it's a nice bright laser. You can see it. There's no question about that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it too is you don't have to worry about the batteries running down.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
with our handheld ones.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It can get cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mike. That's our gearbox talk. Back again. Good stuff.
Wow.
Next week we'll have another topic for you. And Mr. Paul's up next. Paul's astrophotography tip of the week.
Yeah, well,
Hey.
it's kind of that, but anyway, well,
Okay.
I'll see how well it goes.
Well, it doesn't tip over.
I didn't follow Mike's thing, so mine falls off all the time. All right, let's see if I can do this correctly. I guess I have to do it in 2 steps. If I pull the meeting thing over here, maybe I don't. Okay, then I can open this up. And we can open up, make my presentation. Dire screen. There it is. Share. Okay, let me know if you can see a screen with a bunch of icons on it.
We can.
Perfect. Okay. So what you're looking at here, this is my PixInsight screen that I use for processing pictures, but I've come to find that I can use it for actually doing presentations, and I'm really liking it. So so I can keep a bunch of my stuff right on there. I can save the whole project, put it away, and when I'm ready to use it, there it is. Whoop, there it is. So for you PixInsight users, there's another use I found for this. Probably most people know about it, but for me, it's a new discovery. So, all right. So what I want to talk about tonight briefly is just the difference between narrowband and RGB filters and kind of how they work. I guess the first thing is, the big question is, whoops, what is the difference between true color and false color images? So the answer, when I looked it up, was a natural or true color image that combines actual measurements of red, green, and blue light. A false color image uses at least one non-visible wavelength, though that band is still represented in either the red, green, or blue spectrum. Now, as a result, the colors in the final image may not be what you would expect them to be. So, having said that, let's look at the spectrum. So here's the spectrum of color that we typically have come to love, and what we see as what we pick up with our eyes, which is the red. And in this case here, it starts off at the blue, the green, and the red. And basically, you're going from, when you look at those bottom numbers, the 300 over to 800, that would be in the scale of nanometers that those particular lights show up. So if you look at the whole blue spectrum, it goes from about 307 nanometers to say about, let's just say 480. And then it goes into green, then it goes into red, right on up to 700 and a little bit more when you get into sulfur too. So that's basically the RGB spectrum. And you can see that the blue spectrum covers a wide range of colors. So there's quite a wide range that you're looking at there. Now, excuse me, when you buy filters for those cameras, these are some of the filters that you can buy, and you can see this is how they've broken up the spectrum from, again, about 400 nanometers right up to about 700, and everywhere's in between. So let's say, I think, Mike, you said you have an H beta filter. So that H beta filter is going to be somewhere around 486 nanometers. So that's where that filter works very nicely for the horse head if you're observing. And the reason being for observing is because our eyes see green better than anything else. And in that spectrum, that's where we can pick it up. If you're looking at O3, oxygen 3, they are two different bands between 498 and 501. Then you get into the hydrogen alpha, and above hydrogen alpha is sulfur 2, which are, of course, the red bands. So those would be, very, very cutting the spectrum down considerably. Now, the way that you would use these when you're imaging is you're going to image in with different filters. And when you're using different filters, you're going to use, in this case here, we've got a red, a green, and a blue, and a hydrogen alpha. And in many cases, you'll also have the oxygen 3, the hydrogen alpha, and the sulfur 2. So most people's filter reels now house at least 7 or more filters. So that's what you would use if you're using a monochromatic camera. If you're using a one-shot color camera, then what you're going to use basically is the one-shot color camera itself. You can use narrow band filters for a one-shot color camera, but they're very limited. But you can use them, and you can buy a filter drawer, which is what you see right there, and that will go between your camera and if you're using a reducer or whatever the case, right on up to your optical train. So that's basically a one-shot color camera, what it would look like. When you're using a monochromatic optical train, it looks a little bit more like this, where you've got the camera again, but you've got that filter wheel in there, and the filter wheel, of course, is going to spin around depending on what it is that you need, and everything else going forward on that optical train should be pretty much the same. Now, for the spectrum of colors that most people that are doing narrowband, they're choosing O3, oxygen 3, which is in that somewhere between 475 and say 525 nanometer range. Then they've got hydrogen alpha, which is 656 nanometers is the exact one, but usually they can go back or forth depending on the width of your narrowband filter itself. Like when you buy a narrowband filter with hydrogen alpha, let's use that for example, you can buy a 3 nanometer, which is a really thin slice. You can buy a 6 nanometer, which is a little wider. It'll encompass a little more red frequency spectrum, or you can get a 12 nanometer, which will give you the hydrogen alpha plus even more on either side of that hydrogen alpha band. So depending on the width of your filter, they can get extremely narrow. But these are the 3 that you would use to make up what they call a show image. And show image just simply means that when you're putting it into, and I don't know if I can do this, I think I can, all processes, channel combination. So show just simply means when you're putting in your sulfur 2, and I'll just kind of do it for you here, just to show you, your oxygen 3 and your hydrogen alpha, it goes into the red, green, blue in a very specific way, which I've actually already got it done here. So S2, HA, and O3, and that's where the term show comes from, the first letter of the name of each filter, SHO, and that's in the red, green, blue, and that's how you do it. Once you've got that done, you simply press the button and it blends those images, those filters together, and it comes up with your Hubble palette, if you will. So that's kind of how that works. Now, I'm not going to get into the filter types. We've already done filter processes, and I'm trying to keep this as okay. I want to show you this. This is actually very important. When you're doing narrowband imaging and you're using a color camera, the color camera, like a one-shot color camera, like a DSLR or a one-shot color camera, it will actually put 4 different possible colors over the photo site. So you're going to have a red, a blue, and 2 greens. 2 greens because that's what human eye sees the most. So it puts the 2 greens in there. But what it does, if I take a picture of a red image, it'll take those, like for example here, if I'm using all these photo sites, it'll show me 4 out of 16 photo sites filled with red. Then what it does, it actually has an algorithm and it fills the rest in for you. Same with the green, and you notice that there's twice as many green than there is red and blue, and it's the same thing. So that's basically how a color camera works with its color filter array. And it just goes through an algorithm, and it basically looks at the sites that are true color that it captured, and it fills the rest of it in. So that's kind of how they work. With a monochromatic camera, basically, if I'm shooting red, I don't have anything over my sensor. It's just a naked sensor, and I got a red filter in front of it. Every one of those photo sites get true light with that red light, and that's why the monochromatic cameras are more efficient, and they cover and give you better detail. So so that's basically a short little blurb on that. And I don't know, was there anything else I want to show you? Oh yes, the final image. You're probably saying, what the heck's a show image? So when you're all done and before you even start imaging, here is what you'll end up getting when you put that all together. So if I did my channel combination, it will start out looking like this. You can see that there's black pits, there's cuts in it, there's all kinds of stuff going on with it. That's what processing is all about. That's a talk for another week. And here's the final image when it's all done. So you can see that there's a fair bit of processing that goes in it, but you can see with the narrowband data, it doesn't give you true colors. It gives you what they call false color, but it actually separates those particular bands of light that you want to see certain structures in your or certain elements in your structures. So you can see that there's gold, blue, green, and all that. So it allows you to kind of really take and really rip apart what it is that you're looking at structure-wise. So if you do want to study a little bit, or if you just want false color pretty pictures, you can do that as well. That is my astronomy in probably 7 minutes. I'm not sure, but that's my yak. Okay. Yeah, let me stop.
You filtered it down.
I filtered it out.
Paul's Astro Yak of the Week.
Astro Yak.
I like it.
I like it.
Thanks, Paul.
All right.
Okay, we're at 8:30. We got 3 more talks and some photos to show. So I'll get going with my second talk, I guess. Then Mike, you're up again. Vinyl bed. Okay, let's do a second one here. So next up, I'm going to do a talk about what's up in the sky this week.
What up?
What up? What up in the
What
sky?
Wasn't that two old ladies in the hamburger? What's up?
Oh, I used to love
There's
that
them,
guy.
yeah. See if we're frozen on Facebook.
Except when he just ate something, they said that, and it's kind of.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're good. What's up in the sky? We're
Yes,
seeing it
looks
on
good.
YouTube, on
Yep.
on Facebook yet, are we?
Is that a
Okay.
Messier marathon, Charlie?
looks
It
like
is. It is. That is. But it's just what's up in the sky. We're not going to talk about all these for sure.
Just a messy marathon chart.
Messy.
Messier.
Okay, what's up in the sky? Here we go. That's this week, and
Yay.
so that's all I was going to talk about this week.
The Fundy Nebula.
Fundy Nebula.
You get it
Yeah.
all
So whatever I talk about this week isn't going to be very cool for us here locally, at least. So anyway, we'll see if that changes. But anyway, we'll bring up a few topics. Now, tomorrow night, the ISS and the evening planets. Of course, we have Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus still lined up in our evening sky. Going to continue like this right through December. Jupiter and Saturn are moving a little bit farther westward each night. Well, they're moving eastward, but Venus is catching up, so they kind of look like they're all catching up to each other. So, be a really nice line there come mid-December with hopefully a comet sitting there as well. But the ISS is going to pass by tomorrow night. And I said Monday 21st here. Sorry, that was 22nd. Should have been 22nd. And what we have as well is when it's passing by, it's also going to go right by Jupiter at 1724:38. What is today? Today's the 21st? Yeah. Tomorrow's the 22nd. Is it not? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had the 21st here. Sorry. Okay, that was right. So it is Monday night. Venus and the ISS right there at 15 seconds, 1722 and 15 seconds. But it's going to travel right up this way, right eastward, right underneath Saturn, then right by Jupiter. And as it passes by Jupiter, again, it's going to be pretty close. So they're within 1 degree, so you should be able to spot the two of them together in the field of binoculars. So you'd have Jupiter, 4 moons, and the ISS all in the field of view.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be a nice picture to snap?
Oh,
That'd be
yeah.
cool.
If you had a video camera or a way to capture a video of it, you might be able to get that. If you
Do a time lapse, it'll draw a line under the planets for you.
There we go. So now about the ISS, there are a lot of passes this particular week. This is from St. John, and I'm going to show you how to get to your area, but look at the number of passes we have all this week. So they're all, and there's some fairly nice bright ones. Minus 3.5. That's just about as bright as Venus right now. Minus 2.7, 2.6, minus 3.5. The lower the number, the brighter the object is. Minus 3.7, that's very close to as bright as Venus right now. So, and what I do is I usually look over here to the highest point. So this is how high they will be above the horizon when they're at their maximum. And look at a couple here, 86 degrees. So that's right overhead, right? That's 90 degrees is straight up, so that's pretty well overhead right there. So you got a lot of really high ones, 65, 86, 54. So got a lot of nice passes this week, and they're all in the evening sky too. So perfect. And it gets dark earlier, so you should be able to pick them out pretty easy. Now, how to find your spot? Just go to www.heavens-above.com. Up in this top right-hand corner, plug in your location. It'll ask for your location, then update it. And when you do, if you got it right, this will show up on your next page. And then you have all these items to choose from. You can choose the ISS. You can look at Starlinks. You can look at satellite database, sun, the moon, and planets, solar system chart, comets. All that stuff is all listed on it. It's an amazing page. Pile of information in there to take a look at. Tuesday night, double shadow transit on Jupiter. A rare event.
Ooh.
Yeah. Tuesday night brings us a rare double shadow transit across Jupiter as its moons Ganymede and Callisto project dark spots on the Jovian cloud tops at the same time. Now, East Coast observers, which would be us, get the first taste at 7:08 p.m. AST when Ganymede's shadow slips onto the planet's disk. Callisto's shadow follows at 7:52 p.m. And both moons, however, sit far off Jupiter's west, with Ganymede closest to the planet, followed by Callisto, Io, and then Europa. So they're way over here, but there's the shadow they're casting. So pretty cool. That's the double shadow transit. That's a rare one. Again, the two shadows transverse the disk slowly. Ganymede's shadow exits at 9:39, and Callisto's takes over an hour more to finish its journey. You'll see this second shadow disappear at 11:03, so it starts at 7 something, I think it was 7:52. It doesn't finish till 11:03, so that's a good 4 hours, pretty close. After the planet is set in that time zone, but while it is still visible farther west, so it's already set for us at that time, but it's still visible out farther out west. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Jupiter's Great Red Spot is visible. So Jupiter's Great Red Spot will be visible on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights. The Great Red Spot is a persistent high-pressure region in the atmosphere of Jupiter, producing an anticyclonic storm that is the largest in the solar system. It's located 22 degrees south of Jupiter's equator. It produces wind speeds of up to 432 kilometers per hour.
That's still shrinking as well, is it?
It is, yeah. And there's a new one down here too. That, what do they call it? It's little Junior. I think a Spot Junior, or Spot Junior. I think it's called down here. Next up, Saturday, November the 28th, we have Io and its shadow crossing as well. So there's little Io, the tiniest little moon there. It'll transit across the face of Jupiter beginning from 7:20 to 9:20 AST. So a couple hours for it to pass across. So lots of time to see that. That's Saturday night. We should have a better chance for viewing that from here locally. And also Saturday night is the third quarter moon. Our moon will be at third quarter phase on Saturday. Moonrise locally here on the 26th. It'll be on the 26th, the day before, at 11:09 p.m., which is what happens when we're at third quarter moon. And it sets in the afternoon of the 27th at 1:39 p.m. And as I always try to mention, Lisa's Look Up, Astronomy and More. Catch her at Ruby Moonbeams. Lisa puts out this monthly chart on her page. She's almost ready. We're almost ready for a new one here, Lisa, so getting close. She covered all the major events happening this month. Here again, she lists the dates. She lists the time, best time to see them, and the seeing tools you need, either naked eye, binoculars, or telescope. So here's our last quarter moon, course, naked eye, binoculars, and telescope. Moon was at apogee on the 21st today, so make sure you follow her page for more astronomy info. And that's our first, well, that's our look at what's up in the sky this week. Yeah. So since it's a family episode, I had to scratch out a little word, but I got this from a number of people today. The last day, it was really interesting, and it is true.
It said, "Oh, for goodness sake!"
Yeah, it did.
So true.
Oh, for darn's sake! Yeah. How true. I think we were really lucky to get that solar eclipse in June, because we've missed a few events now since then. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we miss a lot of events, don't we?
We do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Wrong part of the country. Okay.
Taller buildings. We got to get up above the clouds. That's it.
That's it.
You need like a CN tower.
A CN tower would be nice.
Actually,
Okay.
they got it in Ontario, didn't they? It was clear up there.
They did. Yep, they did. They got it in Ontario. They got it in, at least they got it down in New Jersey, I guess. So yeah.
We did, yeah. Well, that's a nice shot.
I was showing the show from the Griffith Observatory, and there was an observatory in Australia that was showing other images from other parts of the world too. So it was pretty good. Okay, we're going to go with the Vinyl Bud now, I guess.
All right. He should be coming up there.
He is.
He is.
Oh, because it's this time of year and it's in the best spot ever, binocular target of the week this week is the Andromeda Galaxy. And it is, you won't be better placed for viewing. It's virtually straight up when you go out. And boy, is it a target. So the Andromeda Galaxy is a great spiral galaxy next door to our Milky Way, and the most distant object you can see with your own eye alone. It's the best seen in the evenings this time of year with binoculars. How do you find it in the sky? At 10 o'clock, if you went out and spun your body around to 355 degrees north-northwest, which is virtually north, and you look up, you'll see the W of Cassiopeia. Some people get it from that direction where it dips down the most. it basically makes a pointer and points to the Andromeda Galaxy. Or if you look up and see the big square, the great square of Pegasus, you can go over 2 stars and up 2 stars is another way that I found it. And it's real easy to capture. So you come over 2 and up 2, or just follow that V from Cassiopeia, come straight down, and it'll put you on the Andromeda Galaxy. You'll know it when you see it. Here it is off the side of the great square Pegasus. Come over 2 stars, 1, 2, and up 1, 2, and you're on it. Real easy to find. And if you're lucky, you'll see M33 down here too if you go the wrong way. So what will you see? You look through your binoculars. I don't know if you're going to see it quite this clear, but basically it's a huge target. You can't miss it. In 10 by 50s, it takes up more than half your field of view. Here's what it will actually look like in 10 by 50s in St. John with a little bit of cloud cover. But it's a big target. You can't miss it. It stands right out. It's a beautiful sight to see. Beside the full moon, through binoculars, if you're in dark skies, it's going to look a little bigger, but you probably get 4 full moons across anyway. It's that large target. Easy enough to find. And in 4 billion years after we collide with the Andromeda Galaxy, the humans are going to say Milkomedia, and the aliens in the Andromeda Galaxy are going to say Androway. It'd be nice to find out if we actually meet each other. So there's your binocular target of the week by Binocular.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Awesome.
It's a nice target. It really is.
It is. Yeah. It's actually, if you're in a dark sky, it's naked eye.
It is. It's incredible. Like I said, it never gets old. No. I just had to get it in there because the placement right now this time of year is so perfect.
Yeah.
Now I'll put that one away till next year. Go back to my difficult target.
Okay, before we go any farther, Paul has a little bit of a thing that he wants to show before we do our Rosanna's Fun Facts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little bit of a plug here.
Oh, my little shameless plug. Okay, I'm going to turn off my background so I can show you these things. There. Okay, so what I'm going to show you, just close that for a minute and I'll pin myself. I don't know if it'll make me any bigger or not. So I was asked to do some calendars this year, and so I decided to give it a try. So I have 3 calendars that I have ready for vending. Now the thing with these calendars is I did them with a bit of a purpose in mind. There's a lot of people through the pandemic who are having a hard time and maybe aren't making ends meet, and there's a lot of people who rely on other sources in their pocket to get their food. So what I'm going to do is with $5 from each of the sales of these calendars is I'm actually donated to my local food bank, which is here in Hampton, New Brunswick. And so I'm hoping to sell a bunch so I can, through the generosity of you folks out there, help these folks here, and maybe they'll have a little bit better Christmas, or at least have a nice Christmas meal of some sort. So I'll show you the calendars. So the first one is my Cosmic Collection 2022. And so that's basically on the front. So that's part of the Sol Nebula. And on the back, it's just got a little explanation of who I am. It's got all the different images that are in the calendar, and just tells you about, basically I shot the pictures this year and hope to do what we do with them inside. They're nice 8.5 by 10. So if you want to use them for photos when you're done, you can take them out of the holder and they fit perfectly in 8.5 by 11 frame. And they are, they have the description as to what you're looking at and where you'd find them in the night sky. So that's the Cosmic Collection calendar. I have 2 others. I have my sunset, because believe it or not, I do more things than take astro photos. I go out in the daytime and take daytime photos or early morning photos. So this one basically is sunrises and sunsets that I've taken in and around southern New Brunswick. So there's some really nice, beautiful pictures to look at. Basically, most of these are in and around the Hampton area and on the river. I spent a lot of time in a boat with a camera taking photographs of our local area. So anyway, so that's that one. And finally, I have the landscapes. Let the focus get back in here again for a second. There it comes. landscapes and scenes in southern New Brunswick. And it's the same kind of thing. These ones are more based upon being outside, not in a boat, and maybe looking at size of the things. But I got some nice moon rises and some nice barns with snow blowing off them, and some trails too, walking trails, and some really nice places in and around southern New Brunswick. $20 each. For the time being, you can just PM me on my personal Facebook page, Paul Owen, and if you want one, or all three, and and we can figure out a way to get them to you. If I have to ship them, I have to charge for the for whatever the cost of the shipping is. I did that last year, and it some people want them way out in Vancouver, so. Anyway, but other than that, the proceeds, or $5 of the proceeds, are going to the food bank, and so hopefully we can generate some money from those. So that is my shameless plug. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Paul. Thanks very much. Well done. Yeah, great calendar. I suggest everybody get one, or two, or three, actually. Yeah,
2 or 3.
All 3.
Yeah, give them to your family and friends.
$20 each, or 3 for $60. There you go.
1 for 60, 3 for 20.
Careful. Oh, what's the Facebook page again? It's Paul Owen.
Yeah.
You look so big on the screen still.
He does.
Yeah.
We can fix that.
I don't even
Here we go.
know.
Here he's back to he's more like us now.
I have a video that I'm going to be releasing on my page too. So for those who see the video, please share it, and we'll get as many of those out as we can. But it'll be going on sometime, probably around supper time tomorrow.
Awesome. Okay. Is that your new YouTube channel?
No, I'm just going to put it on the Facebook page for now, and the YouTube channel will be up in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, good.
I kind of put that on hold because I'm other things.
Oh yeah.
Happening.
You got nothing going on.
Who are you kidding? Okay.
Let's do. We got somebody up already. Thank you, Stefan.
Awesome. There we go. Let's go with a Rosanna's Fun Facts, I guess.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's do that. Okay, let me just get.
And who was it asked? Sorry, there was somebody asked a question here.
Yeah.
Jeff Legier. So because of the moon's rotation, if I understood correctly, we'd see a different face depending on where in the world we are standing. If I can take 1 second, I'll share this quick picture. Jeff, I think I can answer it if I can find the darn. Here it is. I think it's this one. So I set the sky up for Sydney, Australia, because you were asking about that. And this is the Sydney looking south, I believe, or looking east on the 27th. So that would be third quarter moon. So if I click on the moon and I bring the moon in closer, we're going to see that the moon is lit the opposite side. So third quarter for them is the other side because she's upside downy, as Yosemite Sam would say. As Yosemite Sam would say to Bugs Bunny, "You're upside downy." Remember that one? So it is. So that's the view they would get from Sydney, or from Auckland, I guess it is, Australia. So close. Auburn, Australia.
Because they're upside down, yeah.
They're upside downy, yeah. So that's the only difference. Stop presenting. Hope that helps. And you can find that. I was using Stellarium to do that, so I do that a lot. I plug in different cities and see what the sky is like in their particular city. It's always clear everywhere else, so that's what I find. Like there's never any clouds.
Yeah.
So Chris, when you're doing Stellarium for that, is there not also an option where you can, if you choose a reflector or a refractor, you can see the view that you would see with your own equipment?
Yes, there is. Yep. You can do that as well. Yep.
Okay.
So let's get back to Mr. Paul and Rosanna's Fun Facts.
All right. Well, let me just share my screen yet again. And we're going to get into this week's
Rosanna's Fun Facts.
Yay!
Well, hello and welcome back, Rosanna, for another great fun fact. Thank you very much for sending this in. This one is going to be really cool. Like they're all really cool. I keep saying that every time, but it's like a sandwich you just don't get enough of, So this one is another delicious meal. So here we go. So she says, "Hi, Paul. Finally on my own, I saw Uranus this week. It has literally taken years, and even though the moon was nearly full, I follow Chris's mention of Uranus being almost directly above it on Wednesday morning. So at 3:18 a.m. on Wednesday, the moon was shining in the bedroom garden doors, and intermittent clouds were skidding across the sky. So using timeanddate.com's map and waiting until a cloud floated right in front of the moon, I grabbed the binos and there it was. It was relatively empty swath of sky, so I'm pretty certain that's what she saw. As certain as any amateur astronomer could be." I saw Uranus. I did. So, but what on earth did people do in the days before telescopes, binoculars, and the internet? Well, if you were Tycho Brahe, pronounced Teekobra, so I'm assuming it's Tycho Brahe, you would establish and operate. Oh, sorry. I got to open those pictures up and it takes away the scoochability. There he is. And operate your own observatory. I have to say, this portrait of Tycho reminds me a bit of Mike. I think there's a mustache change there. Look at both of them now. And my gosh, you know what? You're right.
Big similarity, yeah. Put a hat on him.
If we put a big stash on Mike, there he is.
And a hat. Tycho Brahe, yeah.
Tycho Brahe. It's in our presence every Sunday night.
Awesome.
Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. So let's go.
Who needs Ancestry.ca when you got Roseanne?
Yeah, he's probably a long lost relative of yours.
Probably is.
So Tycho established Uraniborg, a Danish astronomy observatory, an alchemy laboratory on, now I'm going to show you this before I try to say it, on Haved, or Havor of heaven, and this is called the Heaven Island, known as Ven, or again the names I just gave you. So according to this is according to the Copenhagen Post. Now the Copenhagen Post describes this island as rather flat, like Tycho Brahe's face once he had his nose chopped off. What? For those who don't know, we'll get into it in a bit. So refugee for a stargazer. The noted Renaissance astronomer Tycho Brahe was presented with the HVEN, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to call it heaven, because that's how I'm going to say it, or heaven, by King Frederick II in the 1570s. It was an incentive for Denmark's leading scientist to remain in the country, as Brahe had set his mind on moving permanently to Basel. Now, the island was to be the site of Brahe's observatory, and he's going to call it Uranienborg, where he spent the next 20 years in semi-isolation, mapping in the great detail the sky and its constellations. Now, Uranienborg was dedicated to Urania, the Greek goddess of astronomy, and later the goddess of Christian poetry. Now, I'm not sure how those two subjects got together, but Urania was a daughter of Zeus and a great-granddaughter of Uranus. Now, after a turbulent youth of duels and arguments, often with other academics, Brahe had become a bitter and rather asocial man. And the seclusion of the island suited him fine. It also provided a refuge for his sister, Sophie Brahe, who welcomed the chance to leave behind a second marriage that was one of extreme poverty and some notoriety. A gifted horticulturist, she maintained an extensive herb garden on the Uranienborg grounds and assisted her brother in his astronomical observations. Now I'm going to show you that. I'm going to get that here. So this is on the island there. This is the grounds. So so here is the island here in the island's tranquility. She could be taken seriously as a woman and a scientist. So this next one is the observatory. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Wow.
Orthographia Preceptive Domes. I can't say it. No sense trying. Pretty fabulous observatory. That's what we'll call it. PFO. There's the first. He is your relative, Mike. This is
Yeah, he's got to be.
But what about the nose? When he was 20, Bray lost part of his nose in a sword duel with his third cousin, Mandarup Parsberg. Now, Mandarup's blades cut away most of the nasal bridge, leaving the nasal cavity and septum exposed. To hide his deformity, Tycho constructed a prosthetic device made of wax, but it was unsatisfactory. So the ever ingenious scientist, he made up a mold around the wax nose and fabricated a brass prosthesis. And artists matched the color of his skin. Now, this prosthesis was held in place with glue. It was thought that this deformity altered his personality. Rather understandably, he became defensive, depressive, and secretive. I'd have to say that the artist of this portrait above must have painted a favorable view of that prosthetic. That prosthetic was amazing, and that was back to his picture. There, that's him. That's with the let me see if I can blow that up.
With the nose.
There's a spot there. You can see that's actually something that he added on. Unbelievable. Back in those days. Whoops, wrong way. Whoop, fumble. There we go. Okay, so, but what about the nose? When he was 20, oh, no, sorry. I already read that. The details of Uranienborg are astounding, from towers, spiral staircases, alchemy lab, a small prison room for drunk and unruly guests to leave mural quadrant affixed to a north-south wall used to measure the altitude of stars as they pass the meridian. It also had a great infrastructure with a system of aquaculture ponds whose overflow powered a paper mill. But possibly even more amazing, Uranienborg's construction was a unique phenomenon because it occurred at an interesting point in history. It not only was one of the last observatories built before the development of the telescope, but it was one of the first observatories to be completely funded by a government entity for the purpose of research. So Uranienborg was an extremely expensive project, and it is estimated that it cost about 1% of the entire state budget during its construction. So with such a well thought out design, just boggles the mind in today's world. We need a government to fix our crumbling infrastructure. Perhaps it is the ruins because we left it to the government. But without the government, who would build more crumbling infrastructures? Yeah, my gosh, that is something else. And that is this week's
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Yay!
Yeah, so good.
Fishing.
Awesome. Another good one. Tycho Brahe with a nose.
I thought you would be interested in that, Mike. She wrote that as I'm not even going to say anything. I'll put that up, and then now you can research your PFO observatory, and with your split image, he's got to be a relative here.
No doubt.
Thank you, Rosanna.
Thank you, Rosanna. Again, absolutely.
Well done.
Thank you. Okay, we're at 9 o'clock. Ooh, here we go. Okay, we got some photos to go through. So hope you folks, you can hang on here for a little bit. Let's see what we got. Set my screen again. We don't have too many here to share, so I want to thank everybody for sending them in, first of all. And let's go to our first photo. Where did it open? Oh, it opened up there. No, that's not what I want. I want to open it there. 1 second, right there with you. There it is. Okay, here we go. And I'm doing enlarge that now. No, that's not going to do it. Come on. Oh, there we go. Oh, down there. Yep, right down. There we go. Yep. There we go. Hey! Technology guru I am not. Remember, I grew up in the days with the abacus and the slide rule. Okay, so anyway, this one comes from David Samard. David sent this one in, the waxing gibbous moon. Beauty shot,
Nice
David.
job,
Nice shot.
David.
Yeah,
Really nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Love it.
like Copernicus and Oceanus Procellarum there. Lots of Samaria. Lots of detail. And
Well done.
he gave us this one of the moon back on November 21st, which is today.
Nice.
Yeah,
back
send
before
it
it got cloudy.
Yeah, there you go.
Well done.
Very nice.
Lisa Fanning sent these in. Of course, she got the capture of the lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse from New Jersey. So
Yeah.
this is her capture at the maximum.
Oh, nice. Can
Excellent.
Yeah, great colors.
you imagine being there to see that?
I know. Oh, and we're going back here one more to this one, which was
That's
her
nice.
Oh, very
complete
nice.
capture. I think it was every 10 minutes, I believe. She had stated. Jeff, I'm going to get to your question here right shortly. The moon, she captured a picture here every 10 minutes, so she got the complete cycle. And
So-
actually, she got to share that with earthsky.org, which
Yep.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
I remember her suggesting contact your weather channels and contact your news stations, and get them to. They love to see pictures like that. So I hope you did too, Lisa. But it looks like you got one for sure. So great shots
Yeah.
here. Beautiful.
Fantastic. Well deserved.
Yep, very well deserved. Rob Fanning sent this one in. He said, "Hi, Chris. Took the shot of the Pleiades through my birding spotting scope with my phone during the night of the partial
sir.
lunar eclipse.
Oh,
There you go.
good.
Yeah, so that's another thing. The moon would have dimmed a bit, so apparently it was close to the Pleiades at the time. So could have got a nice capture of the Pleiades too. This is something fascinating and magical about the Pleiades to me. I agree wholeheartedly, Rob. I love the Pleiades cluster. If you haven't seen
Yeah.
that, folks, it's that one that comes up in the eastern part of the sky. Looks like a little tiny dipper. A lot of people mistake it for the Little Dipper, but it does look like one of the dippers of stars. But it's beautiful through binoculars, and
Yeah.
great through a wide field telescope. Naked eye, it's even pretty for sure. Thanks for that,
Good
Rob.
job.
Well done.
Yep.
I'm wearing Pleiades pretty quickly, I know. Carol Bean sent this one in, the moon from St. Stephen, the full moon.
Excellent.
Nice
Nice.
capture.
Yep.
Well done, Carol. Thank you. We're going to move to Jamie. Why not right now? These two. Jamie
From
says,
Australia.
well, kind of, yeah. Through a reflector telescope. Hi, Chris. I took these photos Wednesday night of the 98% illuminated moon. I was testing out a new zoom eyepiece, she says. I'm happy with the views, but the eyepiece was defective, so fortunately a replacement is on its way. So she did get a good choice on the eyepiece, and she was one who
Yeah.
suggested we do talk about reviews a bit on our Gearbox talk, so we will be doing that, but great detail there.
Yeah,
really.
that turned out very,
Good
very
job.
nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Looks like an orange, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And she sent this one in as well. More
Look at that.
captures. Yeah.
Nice detail.
Those shots are, yeah, and they just never get old, eh?
No, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Very
framed
nice.
very well.
Well done, Jamie. I've got this one from Susan Klein. Susan sent in the moon from Campobello, the night of the eclipse. And at least you got part of a view at least.
That's something.
You got a
Yeah.
better view than we got.
Yeah.
Good job, Susan. Thanks for sending that in. We got this one from Mark Hickox, the moon from Thursday night. Another one. So
Right on.
some people were getting it.
Yeah, that's right.
And Angela Michaud sent this one in.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Nicely
Nice
framed,
job.
Angela.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move to Kathy Adams now. Kathy sent this one. Of course, the night after the eclipse, she said, is clear. Single shot 6 SE, Nexstar 6 SE, so a 6-inch telescope with a reducer, ISO 100, 1/640th, 0.7 EV, DxO, and in Photoshop.
Nice job.
Nice job.
Always, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good captures.
Oh yeah. Look at the tones in the different Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The moon does have color. Yeah.
It does.
Right up in here. Yeah.
Nice
for sure.
job.
Yeah. Nice done.
Oh, yeah. Very well done.
And then she gave us this one of Orion.
Orion, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now she
Look at
said,
the star field. Wow.
yeah, crazy, isn't it? So Sony A6500, ISO 3200, f2.8, 4-second exposure, minus 0.7, a Sigma 30 millimeter, 1.4 lens. Raw file, processed in DxO, then finished in Photoshop.
Wow.
Nice.
And I would like to mention to people who are sending in photos, we love getting your photos. If you could just put a little bit of info on the photo of what you used to capture it. If it was a cell phone photo, or what kind of camera you used and what your settings were, because there are a few people that have emailed me asking, could we please, ask if people could put that information on there, because they want to give it a try themselves, of course. And if you can get the values in there, that would be perfect. So if you do send in a photo to the show, please include that. That would be great. And from there, we're going to go to Robert Cadet.
Oh,
There you go, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Nice.
and you get the Barnard gloop in there too.
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Nice shot.
It's my best Orion capture, along with a few other objects with it to date. All frames taken are unguided and only track with my Meade LX200 8-inch classic SCT in Alt-Az mode. That's his Orion from last year, I believe. But
Yeah.
That's
still
nice shot.
fantastic.
Oh yeah, Orion's so colorful. There's so much going on in that.
Yeah. Great
Nice
shot.
work.
Nice work, Rob. Paul, you're going to have to try that with your new setup.
Yeah, I'll be shooting that one this year, and Andromeda.
Yeah. Alan Burgess sent this one in. After almost 3 months away from home working in Ontario, he said, I got a gift getting ready to head to the airport. Clear skies up here. He says, I got to watch the partial eclipse. The image, that's another shot. I'm sorry. That is Alan. Yeah, this is another shot of planetary imaging camera. Where did I put his other picture? Oh, it's coming up next. I'll go that one first. Hang on. I got the order mixed up. There we go. Okay.
There it is. You got it. You got it.
After about almost 3 months, they said, away from home, working in Ontario, I got a gift getting ready to head to the airport. Clear skies up here. I got to watch the partial eclipse. The image isn't very good. The image doesn't do it justice. Only had my cell phone, but it was neat to watch. Sorry, the skies didn't cooperate at home. Well, you still got it. That's amazing. That's
Still got it.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the picture of a fish that got away.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now I'll go back to his other shot. I got out to do some imaging with my planetary image camera, he said, an ASI 462MC. I am happy so far with what I got in my first attempt. No giant red spot. Hopefully next time. But great
You
detail.
should be happy. That's a nice shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great detail.
Look at all the bands and colors. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great capture.
Well done.
Excellent.
Where are we going to go next? We're going to go to this one, Mr. Powell.
Mr. Mike Powell.
Oh, that was, Friday night?
Friday night, yeah. Now there's some
Look
detail.
at the detail in and around Mara Charisma. That's amazing.
Yeah, right in there.
Wow.
Zoomed in, it's still pretty
A
impressive.
lot of moon shots. That just looks like a flat part of the moon.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, Mike.
The right shadow caught it, right?
The right shadow, yeah. It adds so
That's
much more
taken
detail.
through a 110 Orion with a 294 MC Pro camera, though. For anybody who wants to know.
Yeah.
That's
There's
fantastic.
Copernicus with the step craters. And the mountain range even showing.
Yep.
Apennines, yeah.
That's hard to catch when you're full like that.
You're right. Always love Tycho.
Oh, yeah.
And look at the ejector rays, extending out 1,500 kilometers in all directions. That must have been some massive hit there, boy. To leave all that deposit behind on all those other craters.
Oh,
One of the younger ones, right?
just spread it right out.
Oh yeah. Great shot.
Great shot.
Thank you.
And this one. Oh, we
No.
found that one
Yeah.
today too. Hey,
That is so cool.
Mr. Paul Owen.
You trained that bird to get there, didn't you?
I'll just give you a brief idea of what went on there. Myself and a buddy, we go out in the boat on every Saturday morning.
Out in the boat?
And he was thrilled to get, we went out last Saturday morning. It was like -6. We didn't care. Anyway, he was thrilled to get out there and get some of these moon shots. He was just excited. And then we saw the eagle. I said, okay, we need to line this up right. So we floated around there, and I said, no, I said, nope, we got to go back. And I kept going in circles. Eventually, that eagle sat there the whole time. And I just started just blasting, right? And eventually, I ended up and I got this one. And I thought, perfect. I got what I wanted with the shot.
Yeah, the eagle has landed. That's cool.
The eagle has landed. He's enjoying the full moon like every one of us do. So that moon is for everybody and everything.
He just had his back to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
I don't know what they're doing, but I'm going to look at the moon instead.
Yeah, these guys are idiots. I'm gonna look at
I need
That's
one final one here. I don't know if this one's around or what, but Stefan sent this one in. 'Tis the season, he said. Karen told me, here's $200 and go buy a nativity scene. And if there's anything left, you can you can spend it on Astro gear.
the villains of creation.
Yeah, like that. You must have had some money left. Good stuff.
That's where planters comes from.
Okay, so thanks for everybody for sending those in. And if you'd like to send in your photos, we love getting them here, of course. And so send them in to Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com, or you can send them into SNAS at astronomybythebay.ca. Both locations. So thanks very much for those. And I'm going to stop sharing here.
Fantastic photos.
Absolutely.
Yeah, always. Well done.
There's one final question here. Where is Jeff's question? Sorry, have a rough time grasping. Jeff, I'm going to send you an email, or I'm going to private message you with a little clip to show you exactly what we're talking about here when we're talking about synchronous rotation. So the moon is, if you held the moon steady in one spot, then you could actually watch it rotate. But we can't, so it's going around us at the same time. So it's always showing us the same face, but technically it rotates once on its own axis in the same length of time it takes for us to go around us once. So that's why we're always seeing the same side. But we'll show you that. Okay, so let's get to a closing then, I guess. There you go. There's our new format. So we're into 9:13.
Yeah, well, it's hard to keep some of the other. Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it. We didn't go to 90 minutes, but we went to an hour and 15 minutes. So anyway, it's all good stuff, and we hope you enjoyed the new format. And we got a little piece of everything going in there. I can stop talking more, then we could probably get more squeezed in. But anyway, okay. So in closing tonight, again, special thanks for your continued support out there. I hope you enjoyed our new format and that you'll continue to provide us feedback, too, of topics that you'd like to see. Our special thanks again, of course, to Rosanna for her continued contributions to the show. Really do appreciate all your efforts out there, Rosanna. I'd like to say thank you, too, to all those who share our program, NB Storm and Weather Center, Lisa's Lookup, and Trudy, and everybody else. Thanks very much. Remember, too, we do love getting your photos, so send them into Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com or SNAS at astronomybythebay.ca, or just put them on my Facebook page, and I've been collecting a lot of them from there as well. So, also looking for topics for future shows, so if you have anything that you'd like to squeeze into one of our segments here, let us know. If there's a particular piece of equipment that you'd like us to do a review on, let us know about that, too. Maybe you're looking at buying a Zoom eyepiece. Maybe you're looking at buying a new scope. Just let us know. We can squeeze it into one of our talks. Again, please let your friends and family know, too, that we are here every Sunday night to try to edutain you. I like that. Edutain.
Word of the week.
Yeah, word of the week. Edutain.
Yeah, I like it.
On the night sky. So for now then, from Mike and Paul and I, folks, stay safe, everybody out there, please. Want to see you all here back again next week. So wish you all clear skies, and we hope to see you here again next week. And remember, as we like to say, guys, keep your scopes pointed up.
Point it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Good night.